If the Switch 2 is just as powerful as the PS5 as leakers are reporting, I will give away $100 live on this channel. Non Apologetic
Nonsense.
The Switch is the only console in human history more useless than the Xbox Series S. I really want to love Nintendo again. We have a company who over the past 2 decades has leveraged nostalgia in an effort to milk its fanbase. That's what Nintendo is now. Honestly, the cell phone you had 4 years ago is more powerful than the Switch is now. It's a Metroidvania player for me, that's it. We don't see any modern titles on the Switch, any AAA titles, because they just can't run them. Developers can't even make them for them. We have ports, so when a game is made on a different console and then kind of tweaked to go on to another, even the ports have trouble. You know, your Doom port, your Skyrim port, your Dark Souls port. The original Dark Souls came out in like 2010, 2012. The graphics aren't that great, but I bought it for the Switch to do another playthrough, and even then, you're dropping frame rate. You're freezing, you're crashing. The Switch is just, it's kind of an abomination, especially now in 2023. And I was so excited when I got the Switch, and really, it was just a few years ago. I can remember when I got the Wii, it was well after the Wii was done. And when I got the Wii, there was a whole new series of games that I wasn't able to play previously. So there were new Metroids, new Marios, you know, there were survival horror games that you only could get on the Wii. So when I got the Switch, I thought, hell, same thing's gonna happen again. Wrong. There was not a single new first-party title on the Switch, period. It was just a disappointment. What was the biggest disappointment was that I tried buying Luigi's Mansion for a buddy of mine's daughter, and even though the game had been out for a couple years, it was still at the $60 price point. That's insane. Typically, the evolution of games, something will come out, it'll be about $60. Over a few months' time, maybe even 6 months' time, it's going to drop down to 40, then 20, and ultimately reside in the digital bargain bin for $9.99 or less. But this is how Nintendo stays in business. And what's crazy is their top-selling game, Breath of the Wild, isn't even a Switch game. It's from one of Nintendo's previous consoles. The new Mario that's coming out this year, Mario Wonder, is the first full-length Mario game to come out in 10 years. I'm not talking about like a reskin of Mario Kart. It's the first actual Mario venture in a decade. That is crazy. They should be
jailed for life.
That is if Mario is their top seller. It's their top dog. It's their mascot. But yet they're just leveraging this nostalgia factor. If PlayStation or Xbox pulled that, they probably wouldn't even be a company anymore. You know, with PlayStation, we have constant first-party titles, constant AAA games. Like, if we look at the next couple months, even next week, I think it is, we got that new Pinocchio game that looks just freaking sick. You got Lords of the Fallen coming out. It's gonna be crazy. Now, there's all this talk from leakers that the Switch 2 is coming out. It's gonna be just as powerful as the PS5. If the Switch 2 comes out and it is just as powerful as the PS5, I will give away $100 live on this show. That's right, buddy. $100 live on this show because it just isn't going to happen. They're going to take a processor from 2 or 3 years ago, put it in there to where it's just enough of a technological leap that they can say they've done something here, and all the Nintendo fans are going to be, oh, it's so great. It's not great. It's cool that it's a portable console, but even that isn't groundbreaking. Look at all the emulators that are out there. You know, look at all the RG series emulators. Abernac, what they're doing for like $100, $150. It's insane. You can do everything the Switch can do. It can also play all of your retro games. Everything's free. Kind of takes away the need for a Switch to me, and it's the greed, you know? Here's what's going to be crazy if the Switch 2 isn't backwards compatible, right? And I could really see that with Nintendo's greed, where you're wind up buying the same old Mario games for the 8th time on the 8th different console, and people are going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to eat it up. If people didn't leverage into the nostalgia factor and just the fact it's Mario, they grew up with Mario, then Nintendo would no longer exist because they understand that they don't have to put in an effort. They don't have to try to be the 3rd biggest video game company in history. And we are kind of seeing that with Xbox. Like I said, the Xbox Series S is a completely useless console, second only to the Nintendo Switch. But hey, like I say, if Switch 2 comes out and it is as powerful as my PS5, I'm going to lay a $100 bill on this table and we're going to give it away to one of y'all. Oh, and one last note. Any grown man who gets excited and plans a vacation around Super Mario World is a complete big old fat puss.
Non Apologetic
Nonsense.